Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time checking us out. Hey, today we're gonna talk about appliances and in your new custom home and the different levels of, I guess we'll just say price that comes with those different appliances. All right, like I said, today we're gonna talk a little bit about appliances. We've got a couple clients that are kind of in this process of trying to figure out what appliance packages they want right now. Let me first off say I've got a bad cold this week, so this is gonna be a shorter video and I apologize for my nasally talking right now. But hey, on the I guess the topic of appliances, there's a number of things you have to think about. And I put appliances into different categories and please don't anybody take any offense to this. No matter what type of appliance you have, I really kind of viewed it's this scale, and it kind of starts out at the bottom of it, where it's like, hey, I need an appliance that will pass inspection. I don't really care what it does. I really don't care what it looks like. I just need something that's going to pass inspection so I can live in my house. And then there's the ones like, hey, I need to make some food hot, but I really don't like to cook that much, and I don't want to spend a lot. Then you kind of move up to the middle of the road, which is, hey, I like to cook. I kind of want some nice appliances, but I don't need anything too crazy. And then you get into kind of the level of, hey, either I really, really like to cook, or I just have to have crazy great looking appliances. And then it kind of goes up a little bit from there. And I think it's just kind of like, hey, I want to have crazy appliances because I have a little bit of an ego that says I need to have really, really, really nice appliances. So anyway, no matter where you're at on that spectrum, and I joke about that, but it is true. There's a huge broad range of appliances that you can have in your home. Honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of them are going to do the exact same thing. They're going to make water hot, they're going to make food hot, whatever it is. So really, I encourage people to pay attention to your budget, not get too concerned about keeping up with the Joneses or the latest trend or whatever it might be. I really encourage people to look at your budget as you're thinking about appliances. I'm telling you, you can get an appliance package for a house. If we're talking, let's say, just say kitchen appliances, you can get an appliance package for your house for less than $10,000 for sure. Maybe even a good bit less than that. Or you can spend, I mean, I've seen folks spend, a couple $100,000 on appliances, which even when I say it out loud, it seems crazy to me, but it's true. You can spend that much on appliances if you want to. So as you look at those different appliances, what are the real differences? So, if you start at I guess I'll kind of say like entry level appliances, that's what you're going to see in a lot of your production homes or maybe some, resale homes that were built a while ago. So it's, your kind of electric cooktop with a single oven, stove combo thing. In Colorado, I guess it's probably honestly about 50-50 gas cooktop or electric cooktop, but a lot of it's kind of just personal preference there. And then for refrigerators, there's kind of the quote unquote normal size refrigerator that most people would have in their house. You can do counter depth, so it just looks a little bit more streamlined in your kitchen. You get a little bit more storage space inside the fridge, but they do look nicer. They just kind of blend in better. Typically a microwave, a dishwasher, and I guess that's really bad. And then a vent hood is pretty popular for a lot of, especially if you're doing custom. Usually you don't have like a microwave over the range. Typically you have a vent hood and then a separate microwave somewhere else. So, you can certainly get those appliances, and like some brands that you typically will see are, you might have like LG, Whirlpool, some entry-level GE, some entry-level KitchenAid, those types of ones that you would find like Best Buy or some, kind of a big box retail store, the line that they would sell. And then some of the difference as you work your way up, I won't lie, there is a quality difference between, if you have like say like a Viking range, that's probably going to be a little bit better quality than maybe like an entry level cooktop or range would be. But at the end of the day, like I said, so much of it depends on how much you're using it and what your expectations are. Like for me, I'm not a professional cook, so if I know this is something that we hear a lot of folks can, talk about is I need to be able to simmer at a really, really low temperature. And like some of the stoves you turn on and it's not all or nothing, but they're not super adjustable. So some people like those nicer high-end appliances because they really are, they're not professional chefs, but it's a great hobby that they have. So they want, I guess I would say a little bit more fidelity with what they can do with their appliances, a little bit more temperature control and precision. Whereas a lot of us just, again, we want to boil the water and we want to cook something in the oven every now and then, so it's not as big of a deal. So don't forego or don't just, not even consider those other brands or those appliances that you might find at big box stores and just automatically think, oh, I'm building a custom home, so I have to put in this level of appliance. If you're not going to use it a lot, you could still get some appliances that I personally think look really great. They're going to last a long time and they're going to do a really good job for you. So then if you are the person that you like to cook a lot and you're building this custom home and your kitchen is just kind of like the heart of the home for you, maybe that is where you want to spend a little bit of extra money. But even then, also realize there are really good options, not at the high end price point. I always go back to kind of the stove and the range because there's just a lot of different options for that. But even on that, there's a lot of different brands that you can get and different models within different brands that are going to be like a just almost a professional level quality without as large of a price tag. So if you want a burner 4 foot range, like a slide-in range, it's got 6 burners on top, a griddle in the middle, and 2 ovens underneath. You can spend probably, I don't know, probably as little as maybe, I'm gonna say $6,000 on that appliance. And then you can spend all the way up to, well into the 5 figures on that appliance. So just thinking about how much you're gonna need it, and is there another brand out there that has a good reputation, good reviews on quality, that accomplishes the look that you want for your kitchen also? Because if you have a huge kitchen in your home, you probably don't want to put in smaller appliances because it may not aesthetically look that good. But you could probably accomplish that same look without spending 5 figures on, for example, a range. Now, like I said, if you're one of those people that you could be working at a Michelin, star restaurant, then maybe you do want to spend, and that's a big important thing for you. Maybe you do want to spend that extra money on those more expensive appliances. So ranges are a big thing. There's just a huge, vast difference of them. Another thing I think people need to consider is whenever you're doing a custom home, think about your refrigerator and freezer space because most of our homes that we live in, it's the kitchens were already designed before we bought the house, and like I said, you've got your quote unquote regular, it's like less than 3 foot space, 32-inch space that your refrigerator goes into, and that's the refrigerator that you see at all the big box stores. That's just the normal size. And if you're building custom, definitely shop around and see, could you, with your kitchen layout, do you want to have a bigger refrigerator? Is that just an important thing for your family to, hey, yeah, I could put another refrigerator in the garage, but it'd be nice to have it all in the kitchen right there with me. So there are some other brands that just the same thing as a stove. You can certainly get some brands like Sub-Zero makes an amazing refrigerator. They get pretty darn pricey. And then you can get kind of the separate units where it's a 2 foot refrigerator and a 2 foot freezer. They go together. It looks like one single unit when it's all done. It's all built into the cabinetry. They look amazing, but there are also different brands that make refrigerators like that accomplish the same look. They give you the same amount of space. And again, definitely do your own due diligence on the reviews on those products and kind of how long they last. Like I know Frigidaire, for example, makes a refrigerator that you can get a 2 foot freezer and a 2 foot fridge, put them together. It looks like one single 4 foot, just a big, nice unit. But I'll be honest, I don't really know much about the longevity of that product. I don't have that experience. So if you're gonna do that, definitely make sure you do your due diligence, but just realize that you don't have to, spend all the money in the bank to accomplish the look and the feel that you want at the end of the day on any of your kitchen appliances. One thing I think a lot of people overlook that is a big thing for me, and I'm glad that I didn't, when I built, I'm glad I didn't shortchange myself on this, is the dishwasher. And we actually went with a different dishwasher brand than all the rest of our appliances because, and I'll tell you, the brand is Bosch. Bosch seems to be known as the dishwasher company if you want a dishwasher that cleans the dishes, obviously step one, but then also is quiet. That was a big thing, because our house has a pretty open floor plan with the great room, kitchen, living room, dining. It's kind of just this large open area. So we didn't want, you're trying to watch TV after you eat dinner and the dishwasher's running, you can't hear the TV. That gets pretty frustrating, right? We had that in our old house. That's why I knew. So spend a little bit more money on a Bosch dishwasher. You can't even hear the thing run. It's turned on and you got to look at the light to see the little light on the floor to make sure you actually turned it on. So dishwasher is a big thing that a lot of people don't really think about because they're thinking, oh, it's going to clean the dishes. Well, you want it to be quiet too. Another thing, I mentioned vent hoods earlier. Again, huge range on vent hoods, so definitely do some shopping, do some due diligence on vent hoods. You can get most of the major appliance lines that do what home appliances you would typically see in a custom home. They're going to have a vent hood that goes with whatever size range you decide to put in. There's a company out there called Z-Line that we haven't actually used any of their products in any builds that I can think of. I actually put in a Z-Line hood in my own personal home. It's fine, it sucks the steam up. It's a little bit noisy. It has like 5 fan speeds. The top one sounds like an airplane's about to take off in the house. So that it is a little bit noisy, only on the very, very high fan speeds though. But that was a lot less expensive than the one that matched all the other appliances. So we kind of rolled the dice on that, and so far it's been okay. But that's a company that I've seen some really crazy good prices with for appliances that look, and apparently act just like the other appliance line. So definitely take a look at some of those. Even if it's a little bit newer brand, you might have a little bit of hard time finding some research or finding some good longevity reviews on them. But I encourage you, just shop around. Don't just make the assumption that, oh, I'm building a custom home. I've got to spend $20,000 on my refrigerator and $20,000 on my, on my 4-foot range. Make sure you just be honest with yourself, put the ego out the window and what the Joneses down the street are putting in their house, and just say, okay, how much am I going to use these different appliances? And then based on that, really shop within that niche. And then also, if you're trying to accomplish a look, an aesthetic feel for the kitchen, then definitely see if there's another brand out there that's going to serve your purpose really, really well, but maybe save you a good bit of money. Like when you're building a custom home, it's all the little line items add up. And I'm telling you, appliances, that's one of those big line items that you can save a lot of money on if you are willing, not willing, but if you aren't the person that needs those super high-end appliances for, like I said, if you're not the professional chef, or if you just honestly really don't care one way or the other, get nice stuff that's going to last a long time for your family, but at the same time, don't overexpend just because you think you need to. So with the kitchen appliances, that's what we all think of most of the time. So, there's other things you can think about too, where you can save a little bit as you're talking about, oh, I need a wet bar fridge. Okay, well, how much are you going to use that fridge? Can you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy one of those $199 little under the bar refrigerators? Or do you want one that's going to match exactly all the other appliances in the house? That's a personal choice you have to make. Wine fridges, that's another big one that we see. Yeah, you can get the top of the line, top tier wine fridge. And if you're a wine connoisseur and you want that precise temperature control, maybe that's what you want to do. But you can also go get a wine fridge that's going to keep stuff relatively within like this 5-degree temperature range. That's going to look about the same at the end of the day. And again, if it's not something that you're super concerned about, but you want to have that, that asset in your house, then you can definitely find some different options. So think about not just the kitchen, but think about secondary kitchenettes, wet bar areas, anything like that. If you're gonna have a freezer in the garage, maybe that does save you some freezer space in the kitchen. And then washers and dryers, that's a whole other thing I really don't know a whole lot about. Typically people kind of do that after the fact, or they've kind of got in their mind what they want for their washer and dryer. So mainly on the kitchen side, like I said, don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. It's your house. Think about what you want to put in it. Put nice stuff in it so it's not going to hurt the value of the house, but also just be honest with yourself. How much are you really going to use it? What's the look that you're trying to accomplish? And is there a cost-effective way to do that? And like I said, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. So hopefully it helps out a little bit as you're trying to kind of work through those budgets maybe, or just kind of plan for that custom build in the future. And if any of this information is beneficial, hopefully it is for you. Take the time, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, notifications, all that stuff. We try to kick out a new video every week. Just a little tip, little tidbit, something about building custom homes. We personally build here in the Colorado Springs, Colorado Front Range area. We will build all over the state of Colorado if the job is right. So if you're in the Colorado area and are looking to do a custom build, we'd love the opportunity to chat with you and see if we might be a good fit for you. Until next time.